When life hands you lemons.
Make lemonade?
No. First, you roll out a multimedia campaign to convince people lemons are incredibly scarce, which only works if you stockpile lemons, control the supply, then a media blitz. Lemons are the only way to say I love you, the must-have accessory for engagements or anniversaries. Roses are out, lemons are in. Timothy Chalamet wears lemon shoes at Cannes. Get a hashtag campaign. Something isn't cool or tight or awesome. No, it's lemon. Did you see that movie? Did you go to that concert? It was effing lemon. Billie Eilish, OMG, hashtag lemon. You get Dr. Oz to recommend 4 lemons a day and a lemon suppository supplement to get rid of toxins, because there's nothing scarier than toxins. Sit back, rake in the millions, and then when you're done and you've sold your lempire for a few $1 billion,
Then, and only then, you'll make yourself some lemonade. But in the world of pharmaceuticals, the Sackler family didn't just make lemonade, they created a thirst the world did not know it had. The Sacklers, a name once revered for philanthropy and medical advancement, now mired in controversy. Their legacy intertwined with Purdue Pharma, a company that stood at the forefront of pain management yet led to the charge into one of the most devastating health crises of our time. Their story began modestly enough. Purdue Pharma, under the stewardship of Sackler brothers, Arthur, Mortimer, and Raymond, transformed from a small operation into a giant of the pharmaceutical world. Their innovations and aggressive marketing strategies redefined the industry. Arthur, the mastermind marketing, Mortimer and Raymond, equally ambitious, steered Purdue Pharma into new territories of pain relief, making it a household name. As the next generation, especially Richard Sackler, took the reins, the company's ambitions soared. Richard, a figure both enigmatic and controversial, would lead Purdue Pharma into uncharted waters with the introduction of OxyContin. Once a symbol of medical progress, became the center of spiraling addiction crisis. This isn't just a story about a drug or a family. It's a narrative of ambition, influence, and unforeseen consequences that ensued. It's a tale of how a quest to quench an artificially created thirst led to a nationwide epidemic.
Some patients may be afraid of taking opioids because they're perceived as too strong or addictive. But that is far from actual fact. Less than 1% of patients taking opioids actually become addicted. And any drowsiness that might occur when you start to take the medication will soon wear off in most patients.
This particular advertisement, like many from Purdue Pharma, was grounded in a deceptive premise. The data they touted came from a mere 4-sentence letter published in the New England Journal of Medicine, a letter that was vastly misinterpreted to claim a less than 1% addiction rate among OxyContin users. This misinterpretation played a pivotal role in shaping the narrative around OxyContin. It reassured prescribers and misled the public, contributing significantly to the widespread overprescription and the burgeoning opioid crisis. In pursuit of a deeper understanding of these marketing tactics and their far-reaching impact, I had the privilege to interview Professor Rebecca Catron from Loyola University, Maryland in Baltimore, Maryland. Her expertise sheds light on the ethical dimensions of Purdue Pharma's strategy and how it fueled one of the most catastrophic public health emergencies in recent history.
Context. Now, lying about what your product is actually likely to do for, or what side effects it's going to, negative side effects it's going to lead to for your patients, is obviously unethical. I'm not really familiar with the FDA regulations on this, but I would suspect it's illegal to misrepresent the product. Though my lay knowledge tells me that they kind of got away with misrepresenting the product to the FDA, and therefore the FDA's oversight on that might have been based on kind of a faulty background anyway. But so misrepresenting what we have is is always unethical, right? So whether it's just that we say that this miracle weight loss drug is gonna, you just take it and you're gonna be in great shape after that. Unethical, right? But we can also take it something much more innocuous that has nothing to do with our health, and just say that, like, if you say this car is going to get 30 miles a gallon, but it really only gets 25 miles a gallon of gas mileage, that's wrong. We should never misrepresent from an organizational perspective, what we're actually going to be able to deliver. And so if we say we're going to be able to deliver an opioid that doesn't have all these nasty side effects that we expect of pain medications, but really it does, there's no excuse for that. I'd say my best guess is that it's not going to change things a ton for the following reason. What Purdue Pharma is dealing with strikes me as very similar to what the tobacco industry dealt with in the 1990s, where they had a product that had been being used by the general public very widely in that case, more so than OxyContin, and it was harming people. And so it took a lot of legal action for them to finally be held accountable. And we saw the regulations put on the cigarette industry in particular just get stronger and stronger. So we have age requirements for how old you have to be to buy the product, but then we have labels that change on the product to say the harm that it can do, and then we just keep increase, and then you can't advertise on television, and so the requirements just got stricter and stricter, and as lawsuits came along, right? So the tobacco industry was getting sued by families who had relatives who, maybe died of lung cancer. And all of these things were compounding and tightening kind of what was happening to the tobacco industry. And you would think that that kind of model would influence somebody like Purdue Pharma and say, when we saw a product that did medical harm to the consumer market, there were these ramifications that followed, and it has really hurt the brand. But to my knowledge, there were not people held criminally accountable within the tobacco industries. I could be wrong. But there were just these kind of financial ramifications. So to me, the opioid crisis is unique in many ways and tragic in many unique ways as well. But it's not a brand new kind of case. We've seen this before with the tobacco industry, and yet we still saw Purdue Pharma do whatever they could to make a buck, ignoring the potential consequences that could follow, and that we kind of are seeing the same thing with them, with these cases and this major financial payout, etc. So to me, we've seen a similar case before in the 90s as what we're seeing now. The 90s case didn't majorly affect Purdue Pharma's approach, as far as I can tell, and I'm not sure the Purdue Pharma case will majorly affect moving forward. It just depends, I think, on people's kind of ethical compass.
As Professor Trump's words resonate, a forewarning of history's tendency to repeat itself, we witness a starkly contrasting scene. In his final deposition, Richard Sackler presents a narrative of denial. Here, in the face of overwhelming evidence and public outcry, Sackler remains resolute, deflecting responsibility for the crisis that unfolded under his watch.
Sitting here today, after all you've come to learn as a witness, do you believe Purdue's conduct in marketing and promoting OxyContin in Kentucky caused any of the prescription drug addiction problems now plaguing the Commonwealth?
I don't believe so.
Sitting here today, after all you've come to learn as witness, do you believe that Purdue's conduct in Kentucky has led to an excessive or unnecessary amount of opioids being located throughout the Commonwealth of Kentucky?
I don't believe so.
Do you believe that any of Purdue's conduct has led to an increase in people being addicted in the Commonwealth of Kentucky?
No, 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 no.